Southern Sudan is the newest country in Africa and the world. It has a population of 8.5 million people. The country celebrated its independence just a month ago, around the 9th of July. We spoke to Catherine Masinde, who's program manager for both Nigeria and Sudan's investment climate programs at the World Bank Group, or the IFC.
So we've helped them put together the business registry to make sure that people can come and register. We've helped them to enact laws that would be quickly recognized by businesses as an effort to improve the investment climate. And now we are working with them on putting in place institutions which will implement the laws that they have put in place. For example, strengthening the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, strengthening the Ministry of Investment, and of course, as I mentioned, the business registry.
It's a country the size of France. 80% of the land is deemed to be arable. It's expected to become the next economic powerhouse in the region. And of course, agriculture has been seen as a key sector. Is this a sector that the economy or the government is focusing on specifically? And what other sectors do they see as potential growth sectors?
Yes, in our interactions with government, they are very focused on agriculture. One, for food security. Two, to ensure that the rural poor are included in the economy. And three, to ensure that the land which is the most viable resource that they've got right now can quickly turn into incomes for poor people. So they are really focused on that. But they are also extending their interests in other non-oil sectors. For example, tourism. They are very keen to make sure that there are business hotels in place for business people who are coming in. Right now, there are just a handful of hotels which are still very much, sometimes I argue, half-star or nearly one-star, but not there yet. So they're seeing this as a big potential market. And then, of course, the other resource sectors like oil and gas and minerals, which they have plenty of, but they need to put together a legal framework that will allow them to harness these resources in a much more lucrative way.
How are they addressing the infrastructure gap? It's virtually non-existent. You need to build the roads, you need to build the railway links, you need telecom systems, of course power, sewage systems even. Yeah. Who's investing and building this?
Right. My sense is that this government has done a lot since 5 years ago. When I arrived in Juba 5 years ago, there was less than 3 kilometers of tarred road in Juba town. Right now, I'm told there is upwards of 50, 80 kilometers of tarred road across the country. Areas are being opened up. Some of that investment is with development partners such as the German government, the US government, the Norwegian government, and so on and so forth. But a lot of it is also simply government investing its own oil revenue in infrastructure. But there's a huge gap there. There's a huge deficit. And government is reaching out to a lot of development partners and saying, look, we know that we have a lot of resources, but they are useless unless we get them to market. And so there's a reasonable effort going forward by development partners to make sure that this infrastructure is in place. Airports are now being built in different states because the distances are quite vast between the states. And these are going to open up different areas of southern Sudan quite quickly.
Lastly, of course, it's Women's Day, and we celebrate you as a woman having gone to South Sudan and chosen this path to help build this economy. Just speaking to you before, you said you lived in a tent for many years. Now you're living in what, a half-star hotel, you call it. How has your work in South Sudan changed your outlook on life?
Living in South Sudan humbles you. You look at people who've been at war for 20 years, more than 20 years, and they're positive. They want to get on with their life. It makes you wonder, really, that, you know, I was going to buy this new pair of shoes. Do I need it? And puts things in perspective in the sense that you actually go back to basics and ask yourselves, how can I help these people recognize that where we are at today in countries such as Nigeria or Kenya or Uganda is not a far-fetched dream, but that their life today is not an end in itself either, that they can get to that dream in time.